verses 63 and 64 in chapter 18 today. When I was in graduate school, I had a teacher who taught some theoretical topics. He would present some fundamental theorems with proofs. He would write things on the board, but he would insist that we argue with them about the proofs, about the theorems themselves. Because he would say, I could be wrong in some of these things. And we would argue with them, often not knowing or actually suspecting that some of them are wrong. However, what he was teaching us was fundamentals. They're all facts. But he would want us to argue and question them. But he would be very upset if the questions were not based on knowledge. In other words, we had to have prepared, not just to ask a question for the sake of it. It has to come from deep understanding of the subject. That sort of trains you really well in life, that kind of preparation to be inquisitive, not accept all things that are being presented to you, wherever it comes from. There is no authority who can be 100% sure unless it is from divinity. That doesn't mean that you question everything and then doubt everything in an arrogant manner. The purpose, as long as is deeper understanding of a topic, questioning is important. For that, we need to think through it. So, whether it is mathematics or religious philosophies, edicts. So, when it is about religion or scriptures, we don't have to accept everything that is being told to us immediately. Of course, if it comes from a reliable source, we must know that it is very likely to be the fact. But we cannot accept it unless we question and get the answers in our own way. Not all of the questions can be answered by us, by me, because I have limited knowledge. The knowledge being infinite, some of it I may have to accept when I cannot find the answers, just based on probability. If things have worked for millennia, and I'm being told they have been working and this is what you do for these circumstances, if I cannot think through them deeply and question them and find the right answers, I may have to just accept it just based on the fact that it has worked. Be it mathematics or scriptures. Krishna says to Arjuna after telling all these things, I have a lot of time. I can study Gita for the rest of my life or other scriptures for the rest of my life and try to understand as much as I can. But Arjuna did not have much time. He had to do all of it like that, right at the battlefield. But still, Krishna is giving time. or the opportunity for Arjuna to think. He says, I have given you deep knowledge, deepest knowledge over these 18 chapters so far. You think about them and do what you find is appropriate based on them. So Krishna is not saying, I am telling you to do this. He's allowing that willpower that we talked about in the previous few verses. We have the willpower. We can choose either the path that is against the flow of the river or with the flow. The one going with the flow is the one that comes from accepting divinity within us, God within us, is the way I understood we are being told. So we could choose. Same way, Krishna is telling Arjuna, here, I have given you everything that I can, deepest knowledge. Now it's your duty to think and do what is right. Then goes on to say, I'm going to summarize what I said to you, the deep things that I've told you. One more time. That's coming in the next few verses.